Hi, I'm here with Dan Diamond, one of my old time friends from like 2007. Like, I've known you for what, 13 years? Since I was like 30.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the splits in my Kat Von D green lipstick because I'm trying to cheer up Preet Bharara. I kept trying to send him selfies and then I chickened out because he's so cute and I told him he had cute eyes and he's a Scorpio, but he's too emotional right now about the coronavirus. So keep talking, Dan. What were you saying?
So in England, were they like number nine, or what do you think they're at? Number nine?
Number nine in what?
In virus capacity. I mean, if we're number three or number two today, what's England?
England had a huge number of casualties, I believe, today, and they're really free.
Water and the virus doesn't fly very well.
Okay, hold on. Let me just look at my favorite map service, which is the Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty interactive map. I keep reloading it. Like, I'll take a nap and wake up and reload it, and like there's 600 more dead people or something. So we're at 58,925 by their stats, by counted people. These are counted people, not the uncounted, which somebody needs to do like an uncounted guess sheet. So we've got, in the US, we've got confirmed 277,953. So 200.
Number three.
Yeah, so deaths are at 7,000, whereas we go back to
Italy's number two.
England is 38,000 confirmed, deaths at 3,600. France, okay, Italy is at 119,827, deaths 14,681. So 14,000, almost 15,000 in Italy dead.
Almost 1,000 people died here.
Almost 4,000 UK. Yeah, and then we're right at like over 7,000 US. But like proportions is where it's at. Yeah, it's really bad, isn't it? It's terrible. It's really bad in New York.
So then, how can they look at the circuit system where they get a testing system where you could buy it over the counter like a pregnancy test in England.
Did you hear they sent contaminated cases to England? The testing kit was contaminated. That's been blowing my mind. Over-the-counter coronavirus testing kit. Is that what you want me to look up?
Yeah.
Virus. Do you know one-party recordings are completely legal in Oregon? So if you want to call any one-party recorder up in Oregon, they might be like wiretapping you. That's how bored we are up in Oregon. Okay. Emergency kit, at-home test kit, a flurry of startup companies. There's a whole bunch of entries. I haven't even looked at this. How can I get tested? I don't know.
Look up virus and testing, but you're probably the one announcing this, right?
What? Coronavirus testing kit, how the pandemic will end, inside the testing failure, Washington Post 5 hours ago. G7 leaders haven't found a working COVID-19 antibody test. Oh, antibody. Detect COVID-19 in as little as 5 minutes. I don't want to study this, actually. Dan, could you just be smart and talk while I stretch? I want to stretch because it looks cool and it feels good.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
So, I was texting with my Korean physical therapist the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And then they was talking about the gap by the Trump man about the population of Korea.
The population of Korea.
I call him the Trump man because it was like, because I can feel like we were buddies in high school. The Trump man.
The Trump man.
And then that's what his high school buddies called him. Hey, it's the Trump man. So then like, he didn't get what I was talking about, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't read the article, but you can look this up too, but I bet what was happening was that Trump said that he knew all about Korea, but then he got the population of Korea wrong. And then so, like not reading the article, like I just like figured out the scenario that he's thinking that there's fewer people in Korea because we're kind of out of the shadow of death a little bit because they had massive testing. But they probably tested like between 10 and 20%. And then it looks better if Trump says, well, sure, they're okay because there's no people that live in Korea. How could you have any deaths?
Did you hear that Stephen Miller has it? The architect of the removal policy, the LA kid, Stephen Miller, he has it.
Wait, what happened?
Stephen Miller, you know the guy? The little skinny, like, 38-year-old cutie from LA who's like a California Republican who wants to get rid of all the immigrants.
What's his name?
The one whose parents who survived the Holocaust have denounced him. Stephen Miller. He has coronavirus. He'll probably be fine. He'll probably kick it. Who knows? Some people are dying in 2 days.
He's probably a coronavirus denier also.
Well, yeah, but I mean, are we allowed to talk shop or like, why are all these world leaders getting it?
Can't they get all this specific virus and then it's like a mental virus, and if you don't believe there's a virus, then
No, I spent like all day. I spent all day looking for something called the culture virus, and I was sure it was Barthes that wrote it, and it made me feel so smart because you remember I used to like those like philosophy books and critical theory or whatever, French dudes. But I could never find the culture virus per se, except that maybe one of the beatniks was talking about something. But maybe it's like how viral became a word on the internet, is that there is this sense of viral contagion just blooming. And that, I don't know, the culture...
There's something called, I don't know where exactly, there's something called, have you ever heard of, like, in quotation marks, the game?
The game? Yeah.
So, supposedly, everybody's always playing the game, but as soon as you refer to the game, then you lose the game.
Oh, interesting. Well, I think it's also like an espionage term. It's just a term. But I one day signed up to speak at Portland City Council about the game. And I went and spoke about the game, but I was just completely ambiguous as to what the game was. I think. But I was I don't like my city council persona anymore. Hopefully I've grown up. I'm not a big know-it-all anymore. I had a particularly bitter, conflicted thing with that mayor. And I just... Ooh, he burnt me out. I think we burnt each other out. I was there from his first day to almost his last day. And it was just kind of like... like, whoops. I used to, like, view it as, like, Darth Vader as a girl. Like, hi, I'm just Darth Vader. Like, to freak you out, dude. No, but he shook my hand the last time I saw him. Because he basically, like, ruthlessly ejected a bunch of speakers. Because we're all, like, signed up to speak the day after Trump wins. And David speaks, and David's really brash. So he's like, you're kicked out. And then I go up, and I speak, and I'm all, like, polite, but I'm like, oh, yeah, and by the way, you beat up that person and broke someone's arm and pepper sprayed people in the face. And then he's like, you're kicked out. So then he goes out and has a press conference at the front of City Hall, and he's like, and this vibrant democracy. And I'm like, what a fucking hypocrite. You're a total tyrant. You just kicked out the activists. What are you talking about, democracy? That wasn't democracy. And you're embodying the very values you supposedly despise in Trump. And So I jump up. I'm kind of like squatting down at the base of the press con, and I go just as it's all over. I jump into his little bubble, and I'm like, when you said there were vibrant activists who represent free speech or something, did you mean me, Mr. Hales? And he was like, yes, you are an influential person or something. He said you are influential, Mary. And we shook hands for the very first time, and it's the last time I saw him, and I'm like, ooh. It was kind of a little like, ooh, he touched me, ooh. But I went up to his wife, who's this like super proper, like blonde, like placid Stepford wife type lady. And I was like, I may give your husband hell all the time, but if anything ever happened, I would be the first one to stand up for like the security in the room or whatever. And I was thinking like pies, like if somebody's going to throw a pie at him, I jump up and be like, because I always do. I jump into the middle of fires for no reason. And she's just looking at me like, oh, really? Oh, okay. Like, and it was kind of like, I don't know. Then he got a yacht and then took like a world cruise as everybody was still trying to like wrap up all their lawsuits against him for all the stupid stuff he did in office. And it was like, dude, come on, don't be like an international fugitive on a yacht. That just looks a little hokey. Get your ass back in Portland and get sued to pieces for all the bullshit you did. But he probably made the city a little richer so the apocalypse can be that much better. And I knew all those empty condos would just one day be like a pretty nice squat. So, what's else?
All your friends at City College.
Oh, I don't know. I think about them. I think about Sheila Darad a lot. I bet she's doing something cool. And I looked at some of my old videos from like 10 years ago. Actually, I have a friend on Twitter now who is doing like anti-LACC school. It's the LACCD district that they have the problem with. But they're doing massive like expose of the Valley College and some other one, like these different district schools. They found my blog, somehow found me. And then I started pointing out, or I don't know how I found them or if they found me, but I started pointing out all the stuff I had done, because some of it's still completely up on the internet, like you're writing the whatever, getting the cease and desist on my blog and getting blah, blah, blah. So we were kind of jamming out. But some of those scandals, it's just quality of professor type stuff. But I don't really keep up with anybody, actually, from LA, it feels like. I don't know. Actually, a few people have called me. I don't know, but not from that school. I like this girl, Gina, from Russia. What's that?
I'm sure he kept on going to school because they're bringing an extra $100 a month.
Extra $100 a month to go to school?
Yeah.
In LA?
Yeah.
So you're saying I should move to LA and go to LACC?
No. What I am saying is that the real scandal and the real dirt is going to be between the administrators and the building contractors. Because I'm pretty sure that the administrators are taking kickbacks.
The who's taking kickbacks?
The administrators.
Administrators. Oh, they always are. That's all they do. Yeah.
So they needlessly build buildings and then shut down classes to build new buildings so they can make more money.
Oh, right. Totally. That's a good point. And Brian Bartel, that professor that drove me crazy, he is still doing it. And you know how I launched my internet campaign against his assholishness? It almost was like the ground breaking, where it was like, you cannot say anything about your terrible professor. And I so totally did. So he is so effing slammed on Rate My Professor. He's got years and years and years and years and years of complaints. And still he's there. And
no, that's what got me too, is when I complained about my person, and then I found out that there had been more complaints.
There's one in There's one in Portland who's become like a national disgrace because of his alliances or whatever. And I was writing about him in 2010, and I was like, oh my God, he is so making a fool of himself on like a bigger level. It's like he needed a bigger stage to make a fool of himself on. He was too terrible. Like I could put up with Bartel's BS probably because he's like a hippie and an Aries, so I can at least communicate. This other guy, I just straight up walked out of his class. I was like, no way, I'm taking a class with you. You're a loser. And sure enough, he's a loser.
My person went off on me. The teacher went off on me, and then when we showed up to class again, all the students looked at me and said, "Oh, why didn't you come back?" I was just scared of what the teacher was going to do. I'm not scared.
You know, I missed those teachers. I loved all those law professors. They were so nice. And the way I looked at it is like you get to hang out with lawyers and you get to see how they think and like welcome to their world. Lawyers are pretty expensive otherwise. So it was kind of like a free. No, it was so fun. I was reading, okay, for a while I was following all the American Bar Association Twitter feeds, and one of them was really blowing my mind. It was this woman who's like $1 million in debt due to some car accidents and back injuries and stuff. And she went through freaking law school on disability in subsidized housing. She gets her law degree, passes the bar, and then the bar wants to do a character slap down on her to be like, I forget what state, it was somewhere East Coast, but they want to do this character evaluation like, well, you don't have the character to be, but she's also a litigator because she's, I think, trained as a paralegal too, so she can see bullshit and then fight it through administrative law. And so they are basically trying to use her litigation's history as well as her debt as like character. So then it's like, well, so what? I think she has Asperger's or something. And there had been another Asperger's chick who gotten a law degree and then had the disability discharge like cancel out her debt, which I was very like, wow, that's brilliant. But I don't know, I was kind of annoyed. And I guess like it's all highly irrelevant now as the bar changes. I'm filming. What's that?
That's story Elizabeth Warren has. That's why I like Elizabeth Warren.
Oh, Elizabeth Warren?
Because she's from Oklahoma, and then something, her dad had an accident.
Uh-huh.
And so the family got in debt, and then we moved the house, and she would just go back and start working again. She was in high school or something.
Uh-huh.
And so she realized what like the lower end of the middle class was like, and she realized that anything could happen to them.
Yeah, really, yeah. Okay, Dan, I'm really pleased with our video. I think the green lipstick is the best thing that ever happened to me. It has a whole story behind it. It was only $4 at TJ Maxx. But it's sort of like worth the world to me. Sentimental value, but she has a bunch of other good shades like purple and yellow on her website. Kat Von D, I think she's an LA chick. She's like a Mexican tattoo artist who became like a cosmetics chick, I think, or something like that. But she's also, to come to find out, she's also vegan. And I completely bought it, and I was sort of like crossing my fingers. And then sure enough, it's freaking vegan, so I love her so much. But I have green eyes, and the lipstick is just slightly more luminescent than my eyes are, kind of like a dark green. But it pulls the green out of my eyes. And then I'm super pale from like getting no sun for 2 weeks or something. Or all winter, basically. I look like a ghost. And then when I wear the green lipstick, it is really funny because people will either smirk, smile at me, or look frightened, or they'll straight up come up and ask me if I'm on drugs. And I'm just like, I'm not on drugs. It's just a lipstick. I used to wear green eyeshadow when I was like 23, and it used to have like the same effect. Everybody just assumed you're a druggie if you kind of like dress like punk rocky gothic or whatever. Weird. But I did it because I enjoyed the side effects, or it like cheered me up.
All the young girls they're wearing white eyeshadow. What is that about?
White eyeshadow. Oh, that was like my only favorite eyeshadow for a long time. Well, it makes your eyes.
It's like you're a secretary that made a mistake with your red out.
Oh, really? No, it makes your eyes pop out a lot. Like a lot in theater makeup, you do a lot of clown white around your eyes, and then your color and the brightness of your eyes pops out.
Yeah, like that. I've done that when theater, like,
Right.
so you've been highlights.
Or then you'll do like white under your eyebrow and it'll make your eyebrow pop out more. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's all there's left is like freaking. No, there's a bunch of girls doing makeup tutorials on Twitter because they're just like, I'm depressed, I'm stuck at home, I'm doing my makeup. And I'm not one of those girls, really, except, well, I just drink too much coffee. I don't want to clean like lipstick off of coffee cups. That's just more work. But for a video blog with Dan Diamond, sure, I'll do it. I'm stretching though. It feels really good. It kind of looks. What's that?
Worldwide Ugly. What is that about?
Worldwide Ugly?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's an LA thing, man. You tell me. I'm sure things are changing.
I think it's an East Coast thing, but basically she's saying that she's ugly when she's not. That you have to like dramatize these little ugly things about you so that you can be beautiful because beauty is just in the eye of the beholder.
It's wabi sabi is what it is, I think. Because you know wabi sabi, you know that. You know what? That's what it is. It's wabi sabi, and it's kind of faux humility, or it's the overexposure.
But then at the same time, you're saying that you have a message for other young women, and you're telling them that it's okay to be imperfect. But the fact of the matter is that you're really beautiful, but you just have like a weird habit, like shaving your eyebrows.
It's kind of, yeah, no, but it's sort of, I think it is like I think it's something that women are dealing with constantly because women are constantly concealing the amount of beauty that they have because it's constantly a liability. Like my friend with her ugly coat that's so ugly that you just like see her coat and you think she's homeless, but she wears it religiously because it keeps guys from like attacking her. And I had a matching ugly coat and I was like, gosh, your ugly coat is like uglier than my ugly coat. But that's a thing that women do. They wear ugly stuff to keep creepy dudes off of us.
Well, this is different though. Her thing is to accentuate the I don't know, how would you say, like...
Accentuate the
strange little things about yourself, because those are the things that actually make you cute.
Yeah.
So how does that?
Okay. Pretty cute, pretty interesting. So I've been making this video blog series. Oh my god, this is 22 minutes. I'm going to